So you just bought your first Porsche, or maybe it's your second, or maybe your 10th. The wire transfer is cleared. The paperwork is received and you have your title, and that transport truck is finally pulling into your neighborhood, even though you've been watching its progress every 10 minutes for the last 3 days. In your office, you probably already have 15 browser tabs open with performance parts, short shift kits, clear side markers, you name it, and you're ready to dive into this car. But do you want to know what the very first thing you should do with that car is? Absolutely nothing. I'm Derek, this is 11 After 9, and this channel exists to give you real, honest, down-to-earth advice on these cars we love. Just straight talk from someone who drives them, owns them, and lives with them every day. So before we get into why doing nothing is the best possible advice I can give you, I'd love for you to check out my new podcast channel, 11 After 9 Podcasts. There's a link in the description, and this is a weekly place where we talk all things Porsche. It's where I have weekly chats with Porsche experts, regular owners, and it's all made to feel like the kind of conversation you have as you're grabbing a beer after a long drive with your buddies. And you out there get to sit in the third seat. So please check that out. But right now, let's talk about delivery day. So getting back to those open tabs, I'm serious. Put the credit card away. I want to talk to you about the reality of delivery day. And one rule that I see people break all the time, and admittedly, I've done it myself. You need to take the day off. Nothing ruins a delivery high like getting Slack messages, having your phone blow up with text messages because your team is having an issue. You're watching the car come off a transport, and all you're doing is trying to ignore the vibration coming from your pocket. You only get this moment once per car, so please protect it. Take a half a day, take a full day, soak it in, be with your new purchase, get out on the road with it. Those things immediately make you start bonding with your new toy. But before those tires touch the pavement from the transport, we do need to talk about the unfun stuff, and that is insurance. Your policy needs to be active, most likely before it even gets on the trailer, because even though most places insure their carriers, you want to make double sure that that car is protected. But when it's coming off the transport in your neighborhood, you need to make sure that it's completely covered. Because when you snap out of that excitement fog and do a white glove walk around like I'm going to recommend you do, it's really important that you have your new purchase protected. So what's that white glove walk around? I'm not suggesting you be a jerk, but listen, the truth is, as these cars are traveling across country, these trucks are dipping and dodging and diving, and cars do shift in transit. Sometimes the tie-down straps can scrape against the paint. You're on the bottom row and the car above you is leaking oil on the roof of your brand new convertible. Or maybe it drops stones from the road down onto your paint and you have chips. I've personally had instances where my car, a 356, had brand new dents because the truck and the trailer actually got into an accident that they weren't going to disclose to me. But my car took a hop about 18 inches to the right. So make sure a lot of photos are taken before it gets on the transport and match those up to the real-world car you see in front of you. All right, so now it's sitting in your driveway. You finally have it. You can't believe it's yours. You keep walking around it. It's amazing. I'm going to give you permission to drive this, as long as it's insured, but I need you to do two very critical things first before you get in. The first is, check to make sure it has oil. I know it sounds crazy, but it will only take a minute, and you want to make sure that you don't have to put anything in before you go. And then the other thing is, check the date codes on the tires. Most likely you had this checked out with the PPI, but double check just in case. If you have a low mileage car and you have tires that are 15, 20 years old, that's going to really affect what kind of spirited drive you have in your brand new car. Those tires are going to be hard as rocks, and it might be a very dangerous first drive. So verify your fluids, verify your rubber, then you can turn the key. All right, so now it's time for your first drive. For those of you that have never owned a Porsche before, and those of you that have, I hope you'll agree with me, these cars can be really grumpy when they're cold. I mean, they really have their own personality. And I've personally had this happen to me when I had my 1972 911T delivered. I took it down the road for the first time and it was kind of bucking. The engine didn't want to rev. It just felt wrong. When these cars get warm, you wouldn't believe the difference from when they first started. You need to give the car a good 20 minutes. Run through the warm-up steps we've talked about on this channel. Get the oil nice and hot, not the coolant, and you will absolutely see from shifting to revving, the car wakes up and it goes from being this collection of disparate parts to a one cohesive unit that absolutely sings with you as you're heading down the road. And as long as your PPI doesn't show a seeping shock or a major engine leak, once you have that plate on the car, go enjoy it for the weekend. I mean, if anything, you need a baseline of how the car feels now to appreciate the work you're going to do later. And baseline is the word. Once the honeymoon weekend is over, we baseline. And I don't care what the receipts say, you start your own clock today. And baselining means you know exactly what's in the car because you put it there. So what are we talking about? We're talking about oil. We're talking about oil filter. We're talking potentially about spark plugs and coils. We're definitely talking about transmission fluid. We're talking about engine and cabin filters, and quite frankly, a full brake fluid flush. This is your clean slate. People can say whatever they want when they sell you the car, and they can show you documents that things were done, but you never really know until you do it yourself. So whether it's an independent mechanic that you have locally, or yourself in your garage with a set of ramps, get the car to a place where you know it's going to be safe to run. And another really fantastic thing that also happens, and in doing this initial maintenance, you immediately start to bond with the car. So you've had your weekend, you've driven it around, but now you're underneath it. Your hands are getting dirty. Do the oil change yourself. It's such an incredible sense of accomplishment. But please just remember, once you put that drain plug back in, put oil in the engine before you drive it again. Please don't be that person. Everything you need to know is on YouTube regarding all those small services I talked about, and try to tackle as many as you can. All right, what's the first thing we all want to do when we get a new car? Especially a cool new car like your new Porsche. You want to cosmetically make it look as sweet as possible, right? Those clear side markers I mentioned, maybe a new set of rims, certainly a new shifter knob, but I'm going to tell you to hold off on that, because what you really want to do is you want to prioritize the PPI, or the pre-purchase inspection, triage items first. Listen, maintenance comes before the mods, and safety definitely comes before the cosmetics. If you need to get the brakes right, do that right away. Get the car safe and then drive it, and then you can start changing some of the cosmetic things. And talking about driving it, try to drive it for at least 500 miles. Put a lot of miles in this car, get to know it in its stock form, or at least the form that you received it off the truck in. You want to have a reference point for what your stock feels like, because if you change the suspension in week 1, you'll never know what the car was actually supposed to feel like. You'll never know it was an upgrade, because it will always be that way. Try to fight the urge to do everything at once. Enjoy the way you're changing your car over time. But while you are waiting for those parts to be delivered, start building out your driving menu. So you might be saying, Derek, what's a driving menu? Well, what I'm talking about is go find the roads that are going to make you enjoy the car the most. Go to Google Earth and find your house, and then look for squiggly lines, and then slightly zoom out, and then look in the countryside for the most squiggly lines you possibly can. Those are your fun driving roads, providing you're not in New Hampshire in their dirt, which might be a good thing if you have a SUV or a Dakar. Map yourself out a 20-minute route, map yourself out a 40-minute route, map yourself out an hour loop, and then give yourself a half-a-day loop. Now, if you have a crazy day and you just want to go off for a cup of coffee, you have a 20-minute route that you can just bust out, enjoy your car, and grab your cup. Or, crazy stressful day and you want to take a sunset cruise, you have a 60-minute loop that's going to help clear your head. I have these loops all over New Hampshire, and I really look forward to them based on my time availability during the day. Also, match the route to your car. If you have a powerful, high-horsepower GT car, you want long, high-speed sweepers. But for the lower horsepower cars like my 911T or my 981, I look for those technical New Hampshire B roads, the hairpins and the elevation changes, where I can feel the suspension loading up around corners. That's where fun is for me. But you do you. Finally, as a new Porsche owner, find your people. If you're the type of person that likes to take long, full-day runs, maybe go to a castle and have lunch on a veranda with your wife, and 15 or 20 people in similar cars, well, the PCA, the Porsche Club of America, has a lot of those drives. They have these rambles you can go on. But if you have a young family and you can only get out for an hour or two at night, if the kids are being watched, find a local Facebook group or start your own. You wouldn't believe how people come out of the woodwork when they find out there's a few people in town with some Porsches and love to drive. It's a great excuse to send a text or send a message on Facebook and say, hey, I'm going off for an hour and a half, anyone want to come? And people jump at it. You can also find your dealership clubhouse. Up here I have Porsche Nashua, and the guys there are amazing. Angelo, Dave, Jake, Mark, they're fantastic folks in the service department that sometimes I just go by just to shoot the crap with. They're real car people, they're real Porsche enthusiasts, and oftentimes I just stop by to say hey and end up spending an hour and a half just talking to them. They get to show me all the cool cars that are in the lot, and what a great visit it is. It does lead me to the topic that I do want to talk about quickly, and that's regarding finding a shop that you trust to work in your car. If you do your own work in your garage, that is fantastic. But it's really important to do your research and find a good independent Porsche mechanic within 20 minutes or 40 minutes of your house that you trust to do some of the bigger work on your car that maybe you just don't feel comfortable doing yourself. Porsche dealerships have come a long way. It used to be just a place where you would go to buy your car, but the dealerships have learned that it's really important to become ingrained into the fabric of the Porsche community. And the dealerships are great hangouts where they have comfortable seats and free coffee and fun people. And The labor rates sometimes aren't that far off from independent mechanics nowadays, so you can always consider that too. But wherever it is, you want to go someplace that has fantastic reviews that you trust to take care of your new vehicle. So why do I tell people that the first thing they should do when they buy their first Porsche is to do nothing? And that's really because that first month is the only time you're going to experience the car as it truly is. So take the day off, baseline the car, drive the car. And don't let the internet talk you out of a car you love based on horror stories from people that just want to get on there and be keyboard warriors. So if you do have your new car, or you're about to get one, or you're looking for one, or you're dreaming of one, congratulations, and I hope this video was helpful. I'm Derek, this is 11 after 9. Stop waiting for life to happen and get out there and drive.